Hi babes, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you exactly how I created this, how I remade this frontal on a adjustable cap. I did put a ribbon to camouflage the stitching between the frontal and the cap. I also I also cut off the adjustable tabs and then reapplied them to a different spot on this frontal, because as you know, they are a little bit closer to the top of the cap. So I just took those off and resewed them into the position that I wanted them to be in, instead of just cutting them off and wasting them, you know. All right, so the first frontal is the one that I already did before camera, and that's just the example that I'm going for. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did this from start to finish. I'm going to start with cutting off these tabs. Cut them off, cut them off, cut them off. Yes, the elastic still stays intact. It does not affect the elastic. So I'm going to cut both of them off and then set them both to the side. Now I'm going to flip my frontal upside down, because that's how I'm going to start sewing it. I'm going to flip it to the right side, and I'm going to start sewing it from that side, which is actually the left side of the cap. So I start on the left side of the cap, but I turned it to the right. Okay. So if you want to see the stitches individually by themselves, that way you can get a more up close and personal feel and see how those stitches work, definitely do the previous video that's attached to this unit. It's a stencil, it's a piece of paper where I'll show you how the stitches go and how they look. It's on a white piece of paper. So I do use a #1 stitch on the ends, because that secures the elastic. It will never have that elastic coming apart, and it will keep this wig seamless on the ends. I don't use any other stitch on the ends because I like it nice, flat, and seamless. And I get that look with this #1. I keep my #1 on default. If you do not have a brother machine like this one, where it's computerized, then just put all your settings on medium, basically in the middle. So I'm using a #8 stitch, which you can see on the end is an overlock stitch. I am keeping the settings on default. It is a overlock stitch. So if you have a stitch like this, then do overlock. Honestly, if you don't have a stitch like this, it will just be best if you either do a zigzag or an or overcast stitch, if you know what I mean. I'll do a separate video for overcast stitch, but if you don't know what overcast stitch is, then you can also use a zigzag. It will create the exact same effect with this. So I'm going to use the #8 all the way down until I get to the right end of the frontal, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the left end, which was secure that with a #1 stitch, which was the single stitch in the middle. And I'm doing that because I want my ends to be nice, tight, and secure. Okay, hunty? All right. And I always backstitch that about a good 4 to 5 times. I'm going to show you that in a second. Now that we are on the edge, as you can see, I'm going to go back and forth a few times. I'm going to hit my backstitch button, which is right above my my needle right here. There's a U-shaped button that's right here. It can be tricky sometimes just because the ends can be a little bulky a little bit, but just have patience and work with it. So I'm going back and forth more than a few times. I'm not stopping and going when I'm going back and forth just because the sewing machine just works more fluently if I just press the button, and it'll go back and forth on its own. I do hold the button as I'm going back because it won't just click it and then you go, and then it won't do that. And I also, the other thing, the only reason why I don't use a number 8 stitch when I'm trying to do the ends, the number 8 stitch does not have a back stitch. It will sort of do like a knot at the end, but I don't personally like that. It doesn't move when it makes the knot. It just makes a knot basically, and it only does it about, the needle will only go up and down about 3 times. So to me, that's not effective enough. I like to make sure that my units are 100% secure. So I'm going to go ahead and start snipping this excess cap off of here. As you guys saw in the closure video, I do not just cut, and I'm not using really big scissors. These are snips. They're by Friscar. You can get them from Walmart or Joann's for anywhere for under $20. So they'll be anywhere between $11 and $15, depend on if they're having a sale or which store you get them from. More than likely, Walmart always has them for $12 or less, and they're really, really nice. They have a guarantee of not going dull, but if they do go dull, then you can always send them in to the company and then they will reship you another pair, hunty. So yes, I'm just snipping this all the way through until I get to the other end, because we don't need this part anymore. I already sewed it. It's already secure. I don't have to worry about it coming apart or anything. And now I'm going to go ahead and sew the ribbon onto there. So I'm going to sew the ribbon on the underside. Actually, sorry, I'm going to sew the I'm going to show the adjustable straps on there, the adjustable tabs. I'm going to sew those on there, so you can put those on there, and then I go back and forth with those. See that, going back and forth? You can see the wig moving back and forth. It does it on its own. Now, when you are first starting off, then I would recommend you stop when you are ready to go back, when you're ready to backspace, when you're ready to backstitch. So backstitch, stop, go forward, backstitch, stop, go forward. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. Now, I did do both sides for the adjustable strap, and now it's time for me to put this ribbon on here. As I showed you in the other frontal, the first one that I showed you, that one had the silky side of the ribbon on there. I'm going to use the dull side of this ribbon just to show you the difference between the two. They are two different effects. It just all depends on what you would like. Again, they do have lace ribbon that you can use, which personally I prefer. But since, like I told you guys, during this quarantine and everything is just so out of stock right now. You just kind of got to take what you can get, you know. And by the way, I am using single stitch. Once I do this part, I am going back and forth about 2 or 3 times just to make sure that the end of that ribbon is secure on there. Again, babes, I like my wigs to be 100% secure. Nobody should be able to take this wig apart but me. That's it, period. Nobody should be able to take any of my wigs to anyone else and take them apart. I do that on purpose because I want you to come back to me to have to redo that frontal or that closure. It's my work. I work on it. Same thing goes for you. Your clients should only be coming back to you to either get a brand new wig or get only you to take that wig apart and redo them and redo their frontal or their closure. So the way you do it, you'll know how to take it apart. And again, babes, I'm only using a single stitch on here, and I'm going very, very slow section by section. Just because this ribbon is silky, it does move out the way a little bit. So I'm using small sections. That way I don't have to worry about it being in the way. And I'm literally just following my finger. I'm using my finger as a guide because I can feel the space between the both the closure and the adjustable cap. So yeah, and I ran out of bobbin right here, so I'm just going to talk while I'm changing the bobbin. So there's a space, and it's kind of like a lumpy feel that you'll feel between the frontal and the cap. So you basically just follow that and then put the ribbon over that. So, babe, this is how it will look. That ribbon will be actually camouflaged a lot more too once I put the other tracks on there, and you'll be able to see the finished look with that. But it does give it a nice seamless look from the cap and the frontal, you know, basically to just hide that split that they have in the middle. It makes it a lot more seamless. And as you can see on the other side, it does not affect the hair. Again, if you do get any of the hair behind the stitching, just take a small rat tail comb and then pull the hair out. The hair should be silky enough for you to pull that out. But thank you, babe, so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.